Hey guys, Scottie the trainer here. Just wanted to share with you a quick story. We'll put this under Notes of a Trainer. There was a story told about a young man. This is back during the times of when kings used to rule the world. So it was a young man, and his name was Mephibosheth. And he was the son of a ruling king. Well, over time, his father died, and another king came to power. Now, when this king came to power, what he wanted to do was, whereas a lot of kings, when they would come to power, they would then go and either imprison family members or those that were part of the family of the previous king. They would imprison them. The reason is because they didn't want a family member from the previous king to rise up in power or to try to overthrow them. So when this king came to rule, he asked, was there anyone still alive from the previous king? And somebody told him, yes, there is a young boy. His name is Mephibosheth. Now, the king inquired about this boy Mephibosheth, and what he found out was Mephibosheth was not in good health. He was not in good health. Because apparently when he was a child, the nurses that were taking care of him had dropped him, and in the fall he was injured. He had what we would consider today maybe a brain injury, a head injury. So Mephibosheth was a lame child as far as in his legs. His legs didn't work. Probably today we would see him, he might have braces on the legs, might have crutches, couldn't really get around. Now, the king that came to rule, when he found out about Mephibosheth, he had to make a choice. He could have looked at it and said, this kid, there's nothing that this kid could show in life. So he could have gone, sent the palace guards, and imprisoned him, locked him up, so that Mephibosheth would never, ever, ever be a threat to him whatsoever. But instead, what this king did was he said, I want you to find him and bring him to me. So one night, the palace guards and the messengers find this child Mephibosheth. When they come to get him, can you imagine what might have been going on in this kid's head? Maybe he's thinking, oh no, I know what my father did to other people. Maybe they're coming to kill me. Maybe they're coming to imprison me. How can I defend myself? I'm such a helpless, broken down, in many people's eyes, worthless. What can I contribute? The king is definitely going to do me harm. Here's what happened though. They came and got him. They took him to the palace. They put servants around him and they cleaned him up, put him in the best clothes. And at dinner time, they took him into the court where everyone was feasting. All of the in today's terms, the vice presidents and the governors and the rulers, the princes were all there. And they took this boy, and at the order of the king, they took him to the head of the table. And he sat right next to the king. Now, back in the king days, they believed that if you had some type of problem, if you were disabled in some aspect, they thought that you were worthless. But this king showed mercy, showed love, extended a hand, and brought Mephibosheth in, sat him at the table next to him. And everyone looked. Here was a kid that went from living in poverty and had nothing. His father, the king, had died. Another king had come to rule. And by all rights, he could have been imprisoned, or worst case scenario, dead. But the king reached out to him, brought him in, said, "Don't fear. I'm not going to imprison you. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to show you mercy." And took care of him, changed his life in the moment of a day. And I started thinking today, as I just wanted to share this with you, you're one relationship away from seeing your life change. Now think about that for a moment. One relationship away. Now we all can think about relationships that did us damage, right? We could think about divorces, broken relationships, broken friendships, even parents that when their children grow up, what a terrible thing for a parent and a child to have a broken relationship. You're one relationship away that could change your life. I thought about my own life. My wife and I talk about a lot of times, there's us and our 4 children, and there was a time when we had to sit in the waiting room of Job and Family Services, waiting for our number to be called, to go in to be evaluated and reevaluated for food stamps and assistance. But we're not there anymore. That doesn't make us any better than anyone else. What it does is it makes us grateful and thankful. But I realized I didn't move from one place in my life to the next level to where I didn't have to rely on food stamps anymore. My wife and I both didn't have to work outside of the house. Now she's able to be full-time and take care of the children, and I'm able to work full-time and take care of the family. I wasn't able to do that necessarily just on my own ingenuity, but it took relationships. At one point in my life, I was working 3 jobs. One during the day, as soon as I'd leave, I'd have about an hour and a half. I'd take off to my next job and work all night. On the weekends, I worked another part-time job to take care of my family. At one point, my wife and I both worked. We needed all the assistance that we could get. And when you need it, you need it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But my life changed because of relationships. One day, a man looked at me when I interviewed for a job and said, "I want you to take this job as a trainer." And Scottie the trainer was born. You are one relationship away from something changing your life. Somebody changing your life. Many times we look around and think nothing is ever going to change. But you never know when that relationship is going to turn around and change your life. I don't know exactly who I'm talking to. Maybe it's on Facebook or Google Plus, or someone will hear this on YouTube on Scottie the Trainer. But I just wanted to stop for a moment as I reflected on my own life and became very, very thankful and grateful to let you know, just like Mephibosheth, who was disabled, his father was dead, and thought nobody even cared about him anymore, living in a place that was barren and away from everyone. But yet a king said, "I want him at my table." Just like a man looked at me and said, "I want you in this position that you're in. Greatest position that I've ever had in my life." And don't think that every morning I don't get up and thank the universe and God and everybody that was ever involved in it. I wanted to stop by and tell you, maybe you're a Mephibosheth. There's a king out there looking for you. There's a king near you. One relationship away. I'm going to leave you with this thought that my father gave me. My father was in construction all of his life, and I seen my dad when I was growing up go through some really tough times. And I said, "Dad, how did you never give up?" He said, "Because I always thought a brand new morning brought brand new opportunities. Who knows when that day is going to happen? About 3 years ago, I had no idea. The man that put me in the position that I'm in didn't know me. I didn't know him until I walked in and took that interview. There's somebody near you that can change your life. Relationships change our life. Many for the worse, but there are those out there that will change it for the better. I just wanted to stop by and tell you that. It's just a few thoughts and notes of the trainer. I'm Scottie the trainer. That's how I see it.